Tipping is not a part of Chinese culture, and according to an article from the Huffington Post, it's also not a part of American culture until wealthy Americans brought the custom over to the U.S. from their European vacations in the late 19th century. In an article called "Here's Why Tipping Should Be Banned," the article calls tipping a repugnant custom that's bad for consumers and terrible for workers. It also makes claims that the quality of service do not correlate with getting a larger tip, and that the practice even permeates racism. Now, for those of you who've traveled to China or any other Asian country will know that there is no tipping in China, and in fact, it's even sometimes frowned upon as breaking the rules. So you can bet that there's a lot that Chinese Weibo users had to say about the pros and cons of tipping. And now let's take a look at what they had to say.
I think this shows that the American economy is really getting worse. People don't want to pay tips anymore. I think the problem with tipping in America is that it's no longer a choice. People have to tip because it's expected, while it should be a reward for a job well done. America needs to remove their tipping custom to help their economy. China needs to implement tipping in order to improve our service quality. For those of you who say there is no tipping in China, you've never noticed the service charges tackled onto your bills? I'd rather pay a tip myself than have a service charge imposed on me. During my travels, I've noticed that the countries where you have to tip usually gave really lousy service. Tipping needs to be abolished throughout the world.
Now, although tipping is not a common practice in China, most high-end establishments, including restaurants and hotels, are now adding a mandatory service charge that's between 10% and 15%. Also, due to the large number of foreign guests that do tip, it is becoming more common to tip hotel service staff, such as the bellboy, who helps with their luggage. Also, for those of you who are planning to join a Chinese tour group, a tip for the tour guide might be expected if the guy speaks English and the majority of the tourists are not Chinese.